Hello, Zinger Nation. This is Justin Roberti here with Web3 Anarchy. If you've been following along for the past couple of weeks, you've seen we're starting to take a deep dive into GameFi a little bit. So I've kind of put out an invite. I'm trying to bring in people who have games that are about to go into beta or have an active use case where they already have users. Today, we're looking forward to speaking to a game called Cosmic Champs, which is very Web3 focused. I like the approach that they're taking with it. So, please do like, subscribe, stick around, and join in the conversation. We are thrilled to have you with us. Thank you so much. And let me go ahead and bring on Simon and Maddie. Here we go. Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Hey, Justin. Hey. I'm great.
How are you doing? Good to see you. Good. So, Cosmic Champs. What do we have coming up? I understand that there is an NFT sale coming up in just a week at this point, but what's your approach? What's the NFT sale going to include, and how are NFTs baked into the game overall?
Yeah, that's right. We have the NFT sale coming up very, very soon, and we have a whitelist that we've been gathering with our community over the last few weeks. So anyone who's on that whitelist will be able to participate in the first 2 rounds of the sale. And then there'll be a public sale as the final round. And there'll be just a small number of NFTs left there for anybody else who missed out on the whitelist. But I can let Simon talk directly about what the NFTs are like. He's the developer and one of the co-founders of the project.
Yes, we as I didn't say when we first came out, Maddie is co-founder and CEO essentially, and Simon is co-founder and CTO if I'm correct, right? Okay, yeah, go ahead, Simon. Tell us about how it's going to factor in with gameplay.
Yeah, sure. So, we have this long PR pitch about this, which Matt is probably better to do than I am. But I'll just speak, from my perspective as a gamer. So, NFTs like in gaming are something that's really missing at this stage. Like, again, we're not talking, about the same change that was made when, microtransactions were introduced, when that was just a way to monetize, extra, squeeze this extra money out of players. Here, we're actually giving power back to the players, right? So if you own an item, if you wish to, you can sell it on the marketplace. You can do whatever with it. You basically own an in-game item. So, your effort is not being in the way. So in our game, we have a bunch of different types of NFTs, and they all play different roles within the game ecosystem. But like just the most common ones, I would say, like, are the champs. What we're seeing on the screen right now is actually the ships.
Yeah, I'm leaving this one up because I love this one. So you start out with the base ship in your game, right?
Yes.
And then we've got, and here's one of the champs that you were talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's definitely got some strong concept art going for it, which is part of why I was a little hyped about it when you first showed it to me. But tell us what we're looking at here. A young lady astride some sort of quadruped mech device.
Matt, you want to take this on? It's a bit of a lore thingy here.
Sure. This one is Saibi. This is the NFT name for this character. But you can see that there's two creatures there, if you want to call them that. There's the robot, the mecha, and then there's the human, the woman inside it. And so this comes from a guild that's called Scrappers, and these are robots that have been overtaken by other creatures and repurposed to join their own army or their own team. So Rose, which is the woman inside Saibi, she's taken over this robot and made it fight on her side instead of the heavy industries guild, which is where all the robots come from.
Right. It's cool. I like how, part of what attracted me to this game to begin with was that you had a pretty strong art style, and I know how important that is to choose a style that really works for the game early on. And you've got something. It's like pretty whimsical. You're not trying to lock yourself into photorealism, which is really kind of nice. And it seems like you have some sort of to get into the lore just a little. It seems like you have some sort of blend of like techno organic beings. Is that correct?
Yeah. Absolutely. We're fortunate to have an amazing concept artist in Max. You can look him up on our website if you're interested. He's a world-renowned illustrator. He's got a huge following of 150,000 people on Instagram or something like that. He's very, very good. So we're very lucky to have him on board. But yeah, as you said, I think the space theme that we've gone with gives us a lot of freedom to create all types of characters, right? We're not limited by what's possible. We can have anything and anything that the imagination can create within our game, and that's one of the beauties of that theme that we have gone with. So as you said, yeah, it'll be organic, but there'll be lots of tech as well. So there'll be lots of robots, lots of human characters, but also all kinds of weird alien characters that you've never seen before. There's a lot of fun that we can have with this theme.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah. I'm getting a little bit of static on your mic, actually, there, Maddie. By the way, everyone, I like this. This is only a decent hour for me, and those those of us in the eastern seaboard here in the U.S. So thank you so much to both Maddie and Simon for taking the time to speak with us today. Yeah, it seems like you're having a little bit of an audio problem, Matt. You might want to switch out to whatever mic you're using originally. But let's go ahead. I'll drag you over to the left side for the time being, Simon. So, the NFT drop. I'm essentially buying my champ at this point, and then we're going to throw them into kind of a MOBA situation, open battlefield arena, not starting out with PvP, but maybe opening up into PvP after the beta.
Yes, that's correct. So we are approaching this like in I would say stage release, just because it's an uncharted territory. On Algorand you don't have anything like of sorts at the moment, so we rather go like release feature, test it out, release a new feature, test it out, and it also keeps traction. There is always something new, sense of progression through the game. It's not like you don't have to master all the aspects of the game at once. You can grow together with the game. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing.
But how do you buy into now? I know the beta, the closed beta is coming up in a month. How do we participate in the beta? Or is it kind of obvious given that you have the NFTs coming up and there's where you buy your champ in order to be part of it? Is that right?
I think Matt is the answer. But
right, and Matt's back and
I'm back. I'm back. Is my audio okay?
Still a little crackly, yeah. But you're coming. Oh, go ahead. Let's go ahead and see how it goes.
All right. So so the upcoming NFT drop. This is one's ticket into the closed beta. So if you participate, you're on the whitelist, you purchase an NFT, or if you join the public round at the end and buy an NFT, having an NFT in your wallet is like your entry pass into the closed beta. So anyone with an NFT will get first access and priority access to the closed beta, but then afterwards we'll have an open beta. So we'll spend the first month or so in closed beta, we'll get some feedback, we'll make some changes, and then we'll open the beta up, and anyone who's in the public will be able to join the beta then.
Right. One thing I liked about your approach when we first talked about it was you said something about like lowering all levels of friction between the players, even those from the gaming community, not necessarily from the crypto community, by reducing the need to create a wallet and so forth. Tell us about that. How easily can we onboard to playing your game if people want to run out once it's available, once the beta is run and so forth? What's the vision here? Because I liked how you had a reduced level of resistance.
Yeah, that's right. One of the major issues we saw with existing blockchain games is that they have these huge barriers to entry, right? You have to connect a wallet, you often have to buy their token, and you definitely have to buy their NFTs before you can start playing. So that means you've invested essentially in the project before you even know if you like the game. And we think that's the wrong way around. We think you should start playing a game first. There should be easy access. And if you like it, then you can buy the assets of the game because you love it, not because you're forced to get access to it. So we're removing those barriers. Players will download our app from their mobile store. So we're mobile first. And once they have the app on their device, they can start playing immediately. They don't need to connect a wallet. They don't need to buy any of our assets. And they can start earning, right? So even though they haven't connected their own wallet, we'll have a custodian wallet, and all of the assets that they earn while playing without a wallet will flow into that wallet. And they'll see them in the dashboard of the app. So at some point, hopefully those assets will get big enough that they'll think, oh, what is that? There's free money there. How do I access that? And they can connect their own wallet then, and those assets will be transferred into their own wallet once they do that. So they'll always be earning. They won't lose any of those assets if they don't decide to opt into the blockchain elements of the game immediately, which we think is super cool. And as you said, it removes that friction. It makes it really easy to access the game. And, we think it's going to feel like a free-to-play game because, they'll just download the app, they'll just start playing, and they'll have all of that functionality that comes with the blockchain from the very beginning.
Well, when it comes to mobile games, that's how I definitely follow freemium games for exactly that reason. If you've got a game that's ready to stand on its own merit in terms of actual playability, then it shouldn't be afraid to let everybody go ahead and try it out and see if they like it before they get heavily invested. At this point, everybody's favorite poster child of GameFi, Axie Infinity, you need to invest at least $900. I think actually, potentially much more than that. That's just to get your started Pokemon deck and really have nothing to work with. Which in your case, Maddie, how are you gonna balance that out? Well, first of all, what can we have the NFT drop coming up right away. What should people be looking for? How should they be looking to get involved? I have Drew and Sapphires, by the way, both asking, give us an idea of what the floor price is. Give us an idea. What kind of pricing information is maybe available?
Yeah, so we haven't announced the price of the NFT sales, but as I said, the first 2 rounds are to a whitelisted group of wallets only, and there'll be a fixed price for those 2 rounds. So I'm not going to announce the price right now, but I will say it's not going to be very expensive. The NFTs are going to be, if we're talking US dollars, tens of dollars, 10, 20, 30, somewhere around that price point. It's not going to be a lot. But there's a lot of value that comes with that NFTs. As you talked about earlier, they're not just pretty pictures. They're a ticket into the beta. They're the characters you battle with inside the game. But we also have extra perks for people that participate in the Genesis season of NFTs. And one of them is that they'll get free airdrops of tokens and maybe some NFTs over the next 12 months if they hold on to those NFTs.
So if people check it out today, because I know that it's super late or actually super early where you are, and we're gonna switch off and show a little bit of video, and I think you're gonna drop off. So, but before you do, if people see the art and get pumped and want to be involved or want to be included in the whitelist event, what should they do? Should they find you at Twitter, or where should they find you?
So sadly, the whitelist is now closed. So that opportunity has passed. But as I said, there's a third round sale, and that round's open to anyone in the public. So if you want to participate in the NFT drop, you can in the final round, or you can wait until some of the NFTs pop up on the secondary market, and you can snap some up that way.
I like that the focus is on making it accessible, though. Obviously the gaming industry should have at least some increment of fun designing its overall thing, right? So hopefully we should.
That's the name of the game.
Published. Nobody beats us up like EA. I'm not sure what EA with NFTs is going to do, because good Lord, they've been experts at extracting every dollar from me for for decades, way before 10 years. Jack suggested what was it? He compared it to BioShock meets Whimsy. What do you think of that comparison, Matt? Is that the tone you're going for, BioShock but with Whimsy? I'd play that game if you made that your tagline. I'd be like, okay, I'm down.
I haven't played BioShock, so I'm no expert to comment here, but it sounds apt. Just if I'm going off what visual comes to mind from the description.
Cool.
Have you played BioShock?
But very, very cool. No, it's by the art style. Yeah, some of the mechs have that steampunk kind of look. I love the steampunk stuff. I love the look of the thing. But hey, we're gonna let you go, and Simon and I are gonna take a look at the video. But thank you so much, Maddie, for coming and talking to us. Look forward to hearing more about it and to the launch of the actual beta so people can get their hands on the game.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks, Justin. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Matt.
I'll just drop off.
Let's go ahead and take Matt off here. Here we go. And now it's just you and I, Simon. Simon, how are you? So good to see you.
Good.
You've got that virtual background behind you, so your head is fading in and out on the sides.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a pretty background, so head can it is a cool background, actually.
You guys have good art. Rarities for the NFTs. You do have different levels of rarities. Like I don't want to. I've talked to Akasha, by the way. Akasha, someone I've known for a while, who is doing a lot of the lore. And am I getting this correct? Like there are NFTs that represent like primarily champs. But is there an intention, or is it part of the original scheme that you could also maybe draw worlds in this?
Well, we as I said earlier on, like we have a bunch of NFTs, and one of them are planets. So planets, that would go into the area of what you're usually known as a lands or plots or whatever. But what the cool thing is that we are doing is we're making them fractional NFTs. So a planet can be split into thousands of fractions. So where in other cases or other use cases, maybe only like a players guilds or like whales or like VCs are the ones that are able to get a hold of this, let's call it premium property or something. Like in our case, anyone can own a small fraction of it, and it comes with all the perks of owning this specific type of NFT. So in this case, it would be passive revenue from the battles that are happening on this particular planet. So like we have like huge vision for how this everything can evolve. Like,
but for right now, what is the top of the heap in terms of rarity for what people could try if they mint their Cosmic Champs NFT? If they roll a natural 20, what do they mint?
Yeah, well, they better roll 220s, and then they get something. So there are a couple of tricks to get like super, I would say, like off the shelf rarity that's not accessible like directly off out of like blind boxes or of marketplace. But the legendaries themselves are basically one-offs. Like they're NFTs in their purest sense. So it's just one of them. That's it. It's your own unique model that's being used in the game. It's unique properties. Everything like legendaries are where it's at.
So give us a preview. What's a legendary? Is it going to be like an ion cannon or like a monster, like a face layer?
Yeah, a bunch of great ideas. Like we might revisit them.
I love the genre.
What we're doing is like our initial rooster is 8 champs. I'm just going to focus on champs for now. So we have 8 champs. And if we look behind me, you can see a bunch of them. Those are the champs. Let's say that let's take CB, because Matt described its lore before. So the big pink robot, right, with a pilot. So this champ in particular will have 6 different variants of it. So that means different, like in terms of cosmetics, it would mean different skin, like in a game, but it also means different stats or attributes that are usually used in NFTs. So you can get like a common CB, you can get a legendary CB, but again, there are a bunch of, I would say, like candies attached to this. So it's not your typical rarity where you just randomly generate a bunch of NFTs, add a little bit of extra details to them, and just say, okay, this one's super rare because we decided to make its eyes golden. Like it's not that simple. We're doing it a lot more complex. So in our case, if something is very high rarity, let's say epic or something, it's gonna visually be completely different. So it's a completely different even mesh. Like if you're talking from design perspective, it's not even the same mesh. Like maybe the pilot will have like completely different hair shape or face, or as you saw like some of the NFT art that you kind of showed already, like they're widely different. It's not just like minor variations in colors or little additions.
Right, it's got a lot of character. I'm gonna pull. How about I pull up this video? And I'm very excited about this because I haven't gotten to show and tell any video aside from that goofy V-Friend video.
The first time we are actually releasing anything.
First time seen anywhere, right here on the show, an exclusive. So I feel awesome about that. Tell us, Simon, what we are looking at right now, and tell me if you want me to stop it anymore.
Yeah, so no real need to stop it. It goes for a couple of minutes. This was recorded today, basically before the show. So again, what you're seeing here is basically 2 screens. These are, so a little sneak peek into the future. This is actually PvP. It's not even PvE. So that's further down the road, but you're actually having 2 players play versus each other. Look, it's being simulated here because I'm doing all the clicks. But anyway, you're seeing 2 screens. that's 2 players, and on the big screen on the left hand side, you actually see what the server is processing, like how the pathfinding is being done, how the units are being moved. So
Right.
again, like at the moment, like in the game, like we are not, I would say, like in the stage of like polishing animations or making everything look super pretty. We are still ironing out like bunch of underneath stuff, which is higher priority for us, because even through the closed beta, we'll still be tweaking a lot of stuff. But just for this video, we decided to add a bunch of animations in some effects, just to make it a little bit more visually pleasant. But anyway, yeah.
This is designed and conceived as a mobile-first game designed in Unity Engine, which is known for mobile gaming.
Yeah, I mean, the perks of Unity, I would say, like the main one is, in its essence, you build once and you deploy to multiple platforms. So it's really cross-platform. If you want to go that route, we can. But even just developing for mobile, it's easier for us to develop using Unity because we can do, Android build and iOS build pretty much at the same time with minor adjustments. Whereas, building it dedicated for each platform, it would take a lot more resources, a lot more time. So that's just the go-to way at the moment.
And it seems like right now, in terms of the style, you are kind of consciously courting like a presentation that's like a little cartoony and a little bit cute, but there's something a little dark about it at the same time. And there's a post-apocalyptic theme going on. Most of the universe, as we know it, has been destroyed. They're fighting over resources. That's all backstory stuff. But is that kind of what you're going for in your presentation here?
So there are multiple aspects as to why the art is as is and stuff like that. So this stylized approach, or I believe that's the term that's used for this. It's there because, like, if you're going like for photorealistic, visuals, it has a huge performance impact. It's just not viable on mobile, especially if you're trying to reach like a wide audience with a bunch of different devices. So that's one of the reasons. The other one, it gives us a bit more flexibility in terms of what we can do with with the style. Because if we are set on one particular style, let's say super photorealistic, then we lose the flexibility to do a special collab skin with save the whales or something, and we can do a completely different theme that can still work within this world. And this is just, again, this art style will kind of remain this slightly cartoony, slightly that, but this is just one arena. Like, different planet will have different arenas with different styles, different environments. So like this one is super, deserty, post-apocalyptic, as you said, but like the other one might be lush green, like with, bunch of water or anything. So we have like a lot of options on, a lot of flexibility. That's one of the main reasons why going for this style in particular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, and honestly, by the way, they are gathering resources and crafting for the most part in this little loop that you pulled?
So no, this little area, like, that's cracked and glowing in blue, that's basically our twist on this typical 3 paths or 2 paths type in Tower Rush type of games. We call it a power-up area. Here you get a random buff or debuff when you go through it, which again, like, it adds this little random element that gives a chance, to someone who's like underdog in the scenario. So if you're against, someone with a superior deck, but you have a good strategy and you get and you can play to your strengths using like this random part, you can win, right? Like, with a lot worse deck or lesser investment or whatnot. So like, there are a couple of approaches how we're trying to, I would say, equalize the field between those that invested heavily and those that are there just to play, like, for fun of it.
So asking the development lead to pull live footage out of the development environment to share it on TV that day is kind of a nightmare situation for most people in your position.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, no, it's not as easy.
Literally stressed you out for weeks by doing that. But I appreciate and respect that you did pull it.
There was a lot of requests for showing some sort of gameplay or something. And again, we are basically a month out of closed beta, so it is in a stage that it is. A lot of this stuff was added in just for the sake of this presentation. As you can see, there were just like 4 types of units, I believe, displayed in there.
Right.
Like we have 8 units. Again, we don't have attack animations or effects on all units just yet. Like also some units on the video you will see like they stay in weird positions. That's because they don't have idle animation, for example, wired in already. Stuff like that. But again, it's there. We have a product. It's being actively worked on like every day. By a bunch of people. So yeah. I think it's good enough that we can show it at this point.
I think it's really, really cool. And actually I appreciate, even when, because like I'm trying not to like, because I'm also doing a little bit of game development myself in the most non-coding possible way, just for the people that haven't heard me say that before. I think that it puts you in a better position. It's much braver to share what you have. That these days audiences, honestly, gaming audiences want everything immediately and want it to be perfect and don't really care about your restrictions. But beyond that, there is some level in which at least supporters would rather see something that's still maybe a work in progress than have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I agree. And, if we put ourselves into, shoes of our audience, I would want to see some footage before I go and buy an NFT that's going to be used in a game that I don't even know that exists, right? So like that's also an assurance for those who are early believers in the project and actually want to get in ahead and invest, or not invest, get an NFT, show their support. So yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, that is awesome. You by the way, Simon, we when we first talked, we had a good chat because you actually have a background in game development, as I recall.
Yeah, that is true.
So tell me about that. I love to meet people in blockchain gaming that have done gaming.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's kind of a little bit more like you're talking about a blockchain project, a little bit less like you're talking about a game, which always feels a little sus to me.
Yeah. So, like in game development or game background on blockchain, I can't really say I have experience on blockchain gaming. Like not many people can say that.
Right.
I do have some experience in blockchain development, actually even on Algorand blockchain. Like that isn't widely known fact, but it's there. I've been part of some like of the OG teams that are on Algorand blockchain. But anyway,
Can you talk about them? Can you talk about games?
Frankly, I don't think.
Yeah, NDAs all over the place.
I was actually preparing myself for like this exact question, and I still am unsure if I can answer it. Like other than everybody knows those projects.
All right, well that's okay. But can you talk about titles that you've helped work on and launch that aren't blockchain specific? Because to me, like we had $1 billion pour into blockchain gaming in January alone, right? Yeah. So like I want to see the best game makers in the world do something using blockchain and make it Web3 oriented, so that there's more of that exchange between the user and the publisher. Like hit those categories, and it's like we have the ability. So why is it not happening at this point? Like that's what's been driving me crazy. Why do we look at Axie Infinity and pretend that is a good game? It might be a good NFT collection, but it's not a good game. Come on, Red Dead Redemption 2, that's a good game.
It was a good segue, to kind of introduce blockchain gaming or get people excited about blockchain gaming and to show the potential of play to earn. It's not the future of blockchain gaming, not at all. Like as Matty said before, like we firmly believe that free-to-play model is the future of blockchain gaming. And just to answer like your previous, I would say like point when you say like why these big studios don't jump into the blockchain gaming, it's just because like I don't feel that they see this much of a potential in giving power to the users, because then they can monetize that. They can't do it. Like if you're talking about rarity in let's say AAA games, in skins, or let's say World of Warcraft, we have like 1% chance for a specific super rare mount to drop, right? It's not verifiable. You don't know if it's really 1%. I mean, there is some experience about it, but you can't really say it's that. But on blockchain, everything is verifiable. So if there is just one, it's just one. You can't just make 100 more. You can't just sell, same little thing to same people. But on the side of my experience in the game development, like the latest title that I've worked on, like before moving on to the onto the blockchain and basically to Cosmic Champs, was Mount Frosty. That was a hyper casual free to play game on mobiles, Android and iOS. It was really fun, really cool game that didn't get all the attention that it needed. But again, like this is also a huge difference between conventional free-to-play mobile gaming and blockchain. Like in conventional mobile gaming, there is like if you don't have like a budget to compete with those AAA studios, it's really really hard to get the exposure to it, and very very often not the best games actually get out there, get all the all the users, just because they had a bunch of funds to pour into the marketing. Like in blockchain, especially let's say Algorand, for example, like we have like this super vibrant, I would say growing community at the moment that's really supportive. And even, every project gets like some sort of endorsement on some sort of engagement, which is exactly what you need to kind of help propel things forward. So I would say like it's a really great opportunity here to build a game here.
I'm letting us run just a couple of minutes over because I saw some people gathered sort of like in the latter half of the episode, and because we're not doing a Twitter Spaces after that. If you have a couple more minutes for me, Simon, I know it's like going on at 1 o'clock in the morning for you or something like that.
It's almost midnight. It's not that bad, but.
Midnight? Well, okay. Well, we appreciate you taking. I know there is nobody you'd rather speak to at midnight than me, and I appreciate that.
Well, tonight that's you. No, but I really appreciate like conversations with you. Like even previously when we did an interview for an article, it's a completely different thing when you're talking to someone, as you said, like you have some experience in game development yourself. So it's a completely different thing to talk, to someone who actually knows the fields, knows the struggles, or knows,
Well, at this point, it's like we don't accept inferior gameplay based on the platform that you're developing, and no matter what it is, gaming consumers are the only group of people I've met that are more hardline than crypto people. Like, boy, they have no patience for anything. They don't want to hear about it. So
today you expect AAA. You just expect that, and that's why we were also super hesitant showing our game before we actually put enough of, I would say, makeup on top of it to make it passable. Like when you're developing, you can work with boxes and circles. You don't need all this fancy stuff. Like this comes at the end. So it's
do you think that is there going to be any tolerance for these games coming out that look like that are basically either card flipping? Actually I've loved some card flipping games. There's this game Fall in London, which I used to play, which was awesome. For example, it can be really well done. It has good storytelling. But so I'm not knocking card flipping games, but still we've got card flipping games and point and click games or tab targeting games. Some slow motion stuff that wouldn't have passed muster as flash games on Facebook 10 years ago, and we've been celebrating them like they are breaking barriers and innovating. That's not
Flash was really competitive time. Like Flash games was super competitive, but like a really cool thing about Flash times, like I started game development in those times. Like I went through all this process. Like the cool thing back then was you were actually able to compete as indie developer, like in Flash times, because it was super easy. It wasn't super easy, but like it was accessible because people weren't expecting these AAA graphics that they are expecting today. So games that would pass then, today not a chance. Like today you basically need a skilled team to help you with pretty much all the aspects of the pipeline to get to this passable standard. And I don't see the future.
What kind of grace period do you think blockchain gaming or Web3 gaming, NFT based gaming, however you choose to characterize it, how long of a grace period do we have before people just have the same knee-jerk reaction of wanting AAA quality out of every game that they come across?
I think that there's still quite some time. That I would say there is time until like the major studios start swarming in. I would say it's up until to that point, and I don't see that happening before. If we talk about market, before the market turns back. Like recently I was listening to a podcast with I don't know who, like the guy from Animoca brand, and he was talking exactly about that. NFTs in gaming AAA studios, and their forecast, and I completely agree with it, is like, in 10 to 15 years, like this will be the new standard. Like AAA games will be on blockchain, gaming will be on blockchain. Like and at that time, I'm mumbling a little bit, but like I think we have a couple of years before it will be only acceptable form to have AAA titles, but we can push it forward, with projects like Cosmic Champs, we can make this a standard a bit sooner, like hopefully.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with showing some more GameFi stuff over the next couple of weeks. I want to keep showcasing projects that are really like creating playable games. I mean, I'm not going to pick on any specific NFT projects, folks, because I don't have to. You can think of 5 off the top of your head. They all have UE5 games launching this year, and I love that. Like they should, all the NFT projects that announced that they were developing a game in Unreal Engine and that it was going to come out this year. I want to see when that happens because I want to poach all of the developers they find that are able to do that, and then we can use them on my project because it's kind of a hard system to use. Anyway, but so I don't have to pick an individual ones, but we do favor games that are actually showing real games and seem to have a critical path toward coming out with one. What are you looking to offer here that's different from what you've seen, that kind of fills a gap that you'd like to fill in the GameFi area, Simon?
I really think like we are taking like this free-to-play aspect,
right,
and making it a mainstream or expected thing. Like I think that's the major thing, because like again, like I'm just going to revert back to what I said when I was listening to this podcast with Animoca Brands. They weren't going this direction. They were saying, yeah, AAA will be present, everything triple. But the thing is, they're not gonna go for freemium. They're gonna try and monetize everything. They were talking about these racing games, cars. You buy the car, you buy the track, you buy everything. That's not the future. That's not what gamers want. And,
yeah, no, it seems unsustainable. I love that you guys are starting out with, you don't have to have a wallet, and in fact, from what I understand, I don't know if we made that abundantly clear here, you don't actually even have to buy your base champ. You sign up to play, and you can start to accrue residuals of some sort or another, accrue benefits, while not having created your wallet or bought anything yet.
You like, there is zero barrier of entry. All you need is your smartphone, and even down the line we'll also have like a browser accessible version, but again, like that's not a priority. But you only need your smartphone and access to internet. That's all you really need, and you can start earning. You don't need a wallet. You need nothing. You just need to install the app from the official store. So no shady thing, nothing that you need to show any sort of trust or whatnot. Nothing. Just download the game as you normally would and play it. Like that's our vision, and make it as seamless as possible. Players don't necessarily even need to know that it's connected to the blockchain for all they care, until they are interested into that aspect.
Right. Well, it's really cool talking to you. If we should let's try and talk again in like a month or so. I want to be able to show when the beta is up. I want to be able to show it in its environment. I think that would be really powerful. By the way, Maddie telegrammed me while we were on. I think he's offering an opportunity to be on the whitelist. So if you were in comments today and you DM me at Sensible, I will go ahead and refer you to Maddie, and you can get on the whitelist if you'd like to. So that's an opportunity, and thank you, Maddie. And
do that. There is no more whitelist spots, so like that's a super rare opportunity, right? So
like DM me or something, guys, and we'll get you on there. Somebody was asking for an airdrop. Maddie, Maddie produced with the whitelist, Simon. So I think it's up to you to unilaterally just create an airdrop. Right? You just go announce that right now. I'm just kidding. You look so serious. You're like,
it's actually that easy. Yeah, like it's not a rocket science. Like
all you have to do, just say it. Yeah.
I'm not going to commit to it though. So.
No, and no airdrops that we're aware of coming up, but we'll stay open-minded. I know that you do have some bonuses coming up after the NFT drop, so we'll be watching that as well. And honestly, I'm looking for the beta. thank you so much, guys. It's been super cool looking at. Thank you, Maddie, who had to cut out. He's in Australia, so it was really early for him, and it's merely very late for Simon. But I'd love to see like if the early demos, if the game ends up looking as good and running as well as the early demos look like. I really look forward to seeing it. I want to see this thing with block players, and we'll take a look at it. Yeah, so I'm just going to go and answer your question, guys. The first DM I get, if I identifiably saw you leave comments, that's how I'm going to do it, because we have to keep this informal. But Simon, you've been awesome. I hope we talk again soon, man.
Yeah, likewise.
Are you working around the clock? Or are you going to go work on it more now that when you get off this, probably? I shouldn't assume that. It's only a month for beta.
I think I'm gonna get a good night's sleep. Like I've been like under a lot of things like for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Partially due to this podcast because we promised we'll show gameplay. So yeah. But anyway.
I knew that was a big ask, man. I knew that was a big ask. But thank you so much. You came through for us. Anyway, do you want to shout out anything before we sign off, Simon? Where should they look for Cosmic Champs? Where should they look for
everybody, please join our socials because like we have like so many things going there at all times. Like we have a bunch of incentives for early supporters. Like we have like whitelisting is always closed, but like we have competitions all the time. Just get there, get active, you'll get something worth your while, basically.
Right. Absolutely. And Cosmic Champs, it's at Cosmic Champs on Twitter for those of you who are Twitter adherents as I am. Well, guys, fantastic. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. I'm kind of a little up on that camera there. We're gonna see you off, Simon. Simon, it's been excellent talking to you. Thank you so much.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care. Thanks, everyone. I mean, the market kind of sucks right now, right? And that's kind of depressing. So we'll probably still be talking a little bit more about the market. I'm looking maybe have Crypto Wendio come on, which would be kind of cool. She's been expanding, so we might do that like next week. But I also have a couple more GameFi guests lined up. So we'll see. We'll try and ride this out for a while. There are more questions than I can get into one episode about how they're going to balance in play to earn without necessarily it becoming pay to win. For example, how they're going to create balance, how they're going to involve as many people as possible, because we know that if there's anything that's going to mainstream and make the usual normie come on board and start interacting with crypto, it's going to be video games. I love them all my life too. Somebody mentioned that the first games they played were text games. Me too. I was on a Radio Shack computer, a Tandy T10, I can't remember now. But you had a little avatar that you would give little text commands to make them walk around the island and figure out whatever you were supposed to do. I was like 5 and it was hopelessly complicated. I don't think I ever got off the island, but yeah, I do know what you mean. Well, dudes, thank you so much. Everyone, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. It's been wonderful speaking with you, and we'll try to take a look at more fun stuff next time. So thank you, everyone. And, have a great week. Take care of yourself, and we will see you again on Monday. There you go. All right, take care.